Guys, we've been talking a lot about crew this week, which is one of our 3 key pillars. So I want to talk about how to get your on-site teams more productive and more independent. How you can get them thinking for themselves and take some workload off you because they're not calling you every 3.5 seconds going, hey boss, how do I do this? Hey boss, should I do it this way? Right? So we want them making good decisions on their own, and we want to free up some of your very, very valuable time. Right? So we've been working with our guys in our programs on looking at this, and I just want to share one really, really simple tip basically, which is incredibly powerful, and if you put into practice, can pay huge dividends. Right? It only works when you have already got guys calling you a lot. Right? If it's you on site, it's harder to implement, but when you're finding you're off site and people are calling you, perfect time to think about using this tactic. Here's what it is. When one of your staff calls, don't answer. Let it go to voicemail. Don't call them back for at least 90 minutes. That's it. That's all there is to it. Don't answer and don't call them back straight away. Give it 90 minutes or longer. Right? Once you start doing that, I almost guarantee when you do pick up the phone and call them and go, hey mate, what did you need? They're gonna go, oh don't worry, I've sorted it out. Thanks, bye. They can't wait 90 minutes for you to get the shit together. If they can, they're the wrong guys. If they're gonna sit on their hands and go, the boss didn't answer, they're not gonna be for you on site. You wanna get rid of them. But they won't be. They'll generally be calling for 2 reasons. One is just to check because they've got the knowledge, they've got the experience, but they don't yet have the confidence to make these decisions on their own. So when they call you and say, do you think this is right? And you say, yes, they're like, oh, awesome. I was a bit unsure. I was lacking that confidence just a bit. Now that the boss has said, great, I feel better about it, right? The thing is, how do you get confidence? You try it and it works. And you're like, oh, that worked. I did it and it worked. Now I know that I am able to make good decisions. 100 of those little decisions that go right, and when they don't, you figure them out and fix them, is what gives you confidence. So if you don't ever get to start making decisions, you can never have confidence. Catch 22. Right, so that's the first one. They're just lacking that little bit of confidence. The second one, the second reason they call you is it covers their ass. Because if something goes wrong, you can't just blame me anymore, all right? Because I checked with you and you said, yep, do it that way. So it's your fault too. Can't just put it on me, right? Not my fault that things went belly up. So I'm covering my ass and making sure that I'm confident enough to do it. But really I know, I've got the knowledge, I've got the experience, you've put him on site, you're trusting me, and I don't need to be running you through this issue, and you don't need to be involved in it. Now, the amazing thing, the really, really powerful part of this is over time, you develop guys who do trust their gut. They do go with thinking things through and making it work without you having to be there and hold their hands. And then they develop into amazing leading hands, site foremen, project managers. Those are the guys who are able to think for themselves. Those guys who flounder and fall without your support, okay. They're your junior leading hands on a bigger PM site. You get to know who you guys are. The ones who stumble and they take a while to get going, but then flourish, bang. That's what you want. Because what you are actually doing by being selfish and preserving your time, and why I say selfish, I mean looking after your time, going, no, I'm not just going to be there answering the calls for everyone. By being selfish and looking after your time, you are actually developing your staff. You are letting them grow and flourish. And it's like letting your kid go off to school and fall on their own, and when someone bullies them, not going running, I'm going to beat that kid up, right? You've got to let your kids fight their own battles. This is the same for your staff. You are letting them go out on their own and grow and flourish, right? If you can do that, you will find that you end up in a situation where they're able to handle most things without you. The things that your phone rings for are fucking painful, right? The things that you're like, yeah, by the time we got to the point where I had an operations manager and a construction manager and then me, and it couldn't be solved on site by the PM, he called the ops manager, he couldn't solve it. He called the CM and he elevated it to me. My phone never rang for a good reason, right? Never. But that's okay, because it meant that all the things that could be solved below me were. The things that got to me were really things that genuinely needed the director's attention. And so you want to build that level of confidence and independence. If you find yourself, or if you grow to the point where you have a supervisor who is managing your on-site leading hands or project managers, and they are overwhelmed, you need to give them this tip. Because when we promoted someone off the tools project managing, and project management for the bigger sites, for us was already off the tools, but I mean the level above that, the operations manager, where they're going around multiple sites, managing multiple project managers who are running multiple crews. When those guys come to you ready to burn out, this is the trick we would give them. And they would push back, oh no, I can't. They're used to doing it all themselves, right? And we would convince them, usually over like an hour and a half of lunch, that they should give it a try. And they would never look back. Never look back. Their life just transformed. Because 85% of their day was spent answering calls to our staff, our project managers who we'd promoted there because they knew what they were doing, right? So when your time is being jeopardized by that, this one simple trick can make a massive difference. And you can feel good about it because you're not just cutting them off, you're helping them grow and flourish. Yeah, you're giving them the confidence and you're stopping covering their ass. They'll become better leading hands and better project managers for it. I hope that trick's helped, guys.